Ah, j'aimerais créer mon activité de coach sportif.
Hotep, c'est nous. Et là, c'est nous. E.T. Ren Isha Kanduku Kemet.
Hotep, c'est nous. Et là, c'est nous. E.T. Ren Isha Kanduku Kemet. Hotep, c'est nous. Et là, c'est nous.
How are you? How are you? Hotep. 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 Now, I went down memory lane because 10 years ago, I used to do the radio broadcast, and I would do it at 6 p.m. Paris time, which was 12 p.m., 12 o'clock lunchtime in New York. And it's strange because I just didn't realize it was so long ago. It was a decade ago. I used to have the regular callers back then. And it's funny how things have changed, because back then we had a chat just like here. But then the chat, if I remember correctly, it will be accessible only during the live stream, during the radio broadcast. Oh, I forgot to loop that stuff. There it is. But now, for those who don't know, whenever I'm live streaming, whenever anyone is live streaming, as long as they have enabled the chat, and most people do, you can always see the links that were shared. It doesn't matter if you use a desktop computer or if you use a mobile phone. Now, if you use a mobile phone, I think you will have to make sure that you hit that button about the chat. If you use a desktop computer, the chat will show automatically. Now, for the record, when someone is live streaming and the live stream is over, the chat messages don't appear immediately. It usually takes a little while, maybe 10-15 minutes. It might take more, maybe if there was a lot of participants, therefore a lot of messages. But there it is. So it feels quite kind of strange that a decade ago I used to kick it on the radio, and before I had my own broadcast, I used to go on a broadcast to some people that I used to be rolling with. I thought they were down for the... Anyway. So now things have changed quite a lot, actually, because as you know, I'm giving the Medu Nature classes. And tomorrow at 11 p.m. ESC, we will have that group class that I'm really looking forward to. It's a lovely things. But the sad part about reminiscing over those 10 years is that not much have changed. Besides, there's a lot less metaphysic talk. Because back then, oh my, it was weird. To say the least, it was weird. See, nowadays we don't really hear that metaphysics stuff. Some of you have missed that era. And the funny thing is that 10 years ago, those who are 20 now, they were 10 years old. So when you're 10 years old, you're not trying to listen to information online. You just live your life as a child. But for the record, if you are curious and you want to have a laugh as well, you are free to go on YouTube and search for metaphysics. And you might want to put, black people metaphysics, because there's surely not only black people who are into metaphysics, but the so-called conscious community. Metaphysics was really kind of part of the so-called conscious community. And when I say so-called conscious community, that's the people who are talking about black issues, particularly black history / black culture and black spirituality / religion. Arrête de faire tes sottises là. Bon, ouais, hold on. This little troublemaker. So yes, the metaphysics was really part of the conscious community. We've had some claims. That was something else. Now, there were two guys mainly who are known for being into that. Well, actually, two that you will hear about most of the time, and there's another one you wouldn't really see, but still a large following. See, back then you couldn't criticize metaphysics, just like in France 10 years ago. The majority of black people in France who used to talk about black issues, basically the equivalent of the conscious community in France, there's a white dude you couldn't criticize, a white neo-Nazi. Now, he doesn't refer to himself as a white neo-Nazi, but you could say a skinhead type of dude who was a very good friend with the chief of the skinheads in France. And the weak, coward conscious community in France, who really are a bunch of Arabs, Negro, they roll with that white dude. He was like their prophet. You couldn't criticize that white dude. 10 years ago, he had it on lock. And they will even be down with, people who are into that Zionist fight, and many of them, they're just straight up, they put everything that goes bad in the world on a certain population. And because it's not a good look to say that you are anti this or anti that, then they will say that they were anti-Semite. And you have also amongst those people who are bootlicking that white man, some Pan-Africans who are really known for being into the anti-Zionist movement. They will criticize their fellow black people who are not engaged in that fight, to the point of writing an article and putting a monkey on at the end of the article, naming different individuals and organizations. And there was a Star of David around the chest of the monkey. Those are your Pan-Africans now. Those are your Pan-Africans now who talk about unity and who get the respect back then because people were not engaged into the anti-Zionist fight. They will be labeled as all sorts of traitors, collaborators, agents, and a monkey will be used as some representation of them. And back then, those people used to say that the number one enemy, the number one problem was Zionism. And whoever is not fighting against Zionism, you see the Arabs, Negroes, you can recognize them, you can smell them a mile away. Because those same people who say that the Zionism is the number one problem, any mistreatment of black people by their Eastern slave masters, it would not be addressed. And they used to receive money. They used to get paid by those people. And now we knew about Iran paying them. And lately we just found out that, some people got paid by Russia. So those people claim to do the struggle, like they say, oh, I did a lifetime struggle, stuff like that. They are really getting paid. It was like a job. And when I say paid, that's not paid like, just selling books or giving lectures, but paid in order to engage in a movement that will benefit those individuals. And we're talking millions of dollars. That's what we're talking about. And the funny thing is that back then, if you were not engaged in that Zionist movement, basically you were in the wrong. And those people will really try to ridicule you and all that. Now, 10 years later, those same people, hey. So 10 years later, those people are not talking about Zionism anymore. How funny. It was the number one problem. It was the number one fight. That's a struggle that will liberate the Africa and black people worldwide. You have some people like that. They are all over the place. They go wherever money is found. But that's just for the record. And the funny thing also is that this white dude who had it made, those people ally themselves with neo-Nazis. There's footage of that. Not just allegedly. We have footage of that. There was an alliance, Well, now they're dissing him. Now they're dissing that white dude. Because that white dude had, let's say, a beef with a black woman, and he actually used some terms and referred to black woman as, So that was a scandal. And really, when that scandal started, the people were still protective towards that white dude who used to have everybody's Negroes kissing his behind and licking his boots. They are very protective. Well, if he said that, and the statements that he made, negrophobic, anti-black statements that this white dude made, was all over the news. It was all over the news, But then the scandal grew. They were probably hoping that it would not really get that big, but it really blew. So they had to distance themselves. There's probably still a lot of love towards that dude, but it's not a good look for the cause. Now, they will accept negrophobic and anti-black teaching coming from black organizations. Coming from a white dude would not be a good look. So it's an irony. It's an irony. Huge irony. So, brothers and sisters, it's good to know the background of the people that you are following. What were the teaching a few years back? Are they consistent? Have you checked what they were saying? Is it factual? Do they have a habit of lying? Even if it's not outright lies, do they have a habit of teaching stuff that's not accurate at all? I'm going to share the invite link, and if you want to get on the panel, assis-toi bien. Hold on. So I've shared the invite link. It will be good to hear from you about the different about the path that you have taken or you have seen other people taking. A decade is a good indicator of timing. What were you about 10 years ago? Have you progressed in your knowledge 10 years for the last 10 years? See, some people talk about knowledge, but it's just stuff that they heard. They have not verified. A summary of 10 years. Now, I must say this. Some people don't like it, but it's on them because some people just want to talk and leave it there like they are in a club or in a bar and you have this discussion. This is what's popping. Hieroglyphic class Friday, March 18. That's tomorrow, 11 p.m. EST. It's very easy to sign up. I really like the background music. If you want to hear this instrumental, you have the playlist on my channel and you know the address. So whoever wants to sign up for the MetaNurture class, like I was saying, is very easy. It's $10 for at least an hour, and it will probably last much longer because at that time slot I will definitely have time. You can send the $10 preferably via PayPal. You have the address is paypal.me/maatforever. Oh, actually, I'm going to remove this one because I've noticed that there's no space there. I'll do it this way. Now I'll share it again because the link will not work. So hold on. Now let's do it again. There it is. So you have the PayPal, paypal.me/maatforever, or you have the Cash App as well. And then make sure you email me so that I can send the link for the class. You know, some people learn the MetaNurture and they have the private class. The classes are private, by the way. But really, they have a lot of questions about different subjects. So eventually we get to talk about other stuff as well. And it's good, you know, to actually get to see the people. You know, now it's not mandatory to show your face during the classes, but the people always do. You know, if some people don't want to, it's on them. You know, because at the end of the day, for the most part, we know each other online, but we don't really know each other that much. And that's a huge difference when it comes to the other groups. The Abrahamic believers have a place of worship, which is also a place of gathering, and the people really know each other. See, it's been many years now. There's a few people who have some places where they can meet, but it's not necessarily available all the time. But for the most part, this movement of enlightenment and knowledge has been online mainly. Now, back then in France, we used to meet weekly, every Sunday. Now, some organization in America that's celebrating Kwanzaa and defending someone that tortured black woman, they copied the concept, they copied the name of the group, they copied even the greetings, they copied the time, the day, the time, the hour. That's what they do. But it didn't last long anyway, you know. You know, there's a problem. You might have seen that sometimes you have wait. I'm gonna be back. Hold on. I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna play sign. I wanna play that one.
So Shabazz was not permitted to stay in that area, so he took his family into. So Shabazz was not permitted to stay in that area, so he took his family into the jungle of East Asia, which we now call Africa, to make a people close to nature. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, this is the origin of kinky hair. Because we didn't have kinky hair prior to that. The hair on our head was like the hair on our eyebrows. The hair on your eyebrows straight, the hair on your head is not the same as the hair on your eyebrow. But the hair of every other people is the same as their eyebrow. Your eyebrow straight, your hair something different. Wouldn't you like the hair on your head to be as straight as the hair on your eyebrow? That's why you so busy frying it. That's why you so busy pulling it. Because your nature tells you that the kink I mean, you know, with I'm black and I'm proud, we got to learn to be proud of kinks. Because most of your family of other black people on the earth, jet black. They didn't have no broad nose and thick lips and kinky hair. They were dark-skinned people, jet black. But they had straight hair, a thinner lip, a thinner nose. But we are marked as a different kind of black person. And we were rejected and despised, not only from the circle of the gods, but we were despised and rejected by all the other dark people of the earth. This is why today black people with kinky hair and broad nose and thick lips are rejected in every society. I want you to hear me well tonight. Yes, sir. Why are we rejected? Because the essence of beauty is in obedience and submission to God. And the essence of ugliness is when you rebel against God. And when you rebel against God, in your rebellion, you are marked with a certain mark of your rebellion, which is the disfigurement of your internal self, which manifests in the disfigurement of your external self. And this is why when you look at our people, wherever we are found on the earth, you find us either disfiguring ourselves physically because we are disfigured on the inside because of rebellion. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Viens ici. Je t'ai pas dit viens ici? All right, I'm back. You've heard what they call supreme wisdom. And this also doesn't bother much people. So there's a huge hypocrisy with people who talk about negrophobia, anti-black teachings, anti-African teachings. You have Sat 12 in the place. I hope you're not going to ask me about what was it the last time? Okay, feel free no matter what. But remember, you don't go to a mechanic and ask him if he can, do something to your car as a sample. You don't go to a lawyer and ask him if he can look into your case. As a sample. So it'll be good if you have the same respect for people who teach an ancient language. So, like I was saying, hey, c'est quoi tes sottises là? We used to meet weekly. It was nice at first, but I had two bastards claiming to be rolling with me, and they sabotaged the effort. 10 years later, they're about nothing. Some people are not worth more than feces. They're rolling with some rapists, known traitors who are getting paid to go with that anti-Zionist struggle full of jihadists, neo-Nazis, skinheads, rapists. And they thought they would have it locked. But it has all faded. Some people fail the test of time. You know the saying, only time will reveal? Many times it's true. Those people used to talk about metaphysics. There's one guy who went dissing me because I would not agree with metaphysics. Is he about something? Those people who defended the anti-black and anti-African teaching of an organization that they did not even belong to. Do they have anything popping? You know, Sat 12? This is what Sat 12 wrote. If you are at a bar and someone is a lawyer, you might ask them a legal question. The lawyer might give you some free advice. Then at a point, see if you wanted to become a client. Now, I don't know exactly what you mean when you say at a bar, but you would never go to a lawyer's office and ask him for legal advice. Now, in England, it was the same as in France. You have some places where maybe once a month there's free advice for the citizens, and it's probably done with the government. The government will somehow, some way compensate the lawyers for their efforts. As a matter of fact, if I remember correctly, the lawyers are on the list, and I think it's when they start, eventually they will be chosen to give that free legal advice. So that's a place, like a social place for people who cannot really afford a lawyer to go to. But this is it's not what I'm doing here. I have not said, okay, to whoever's interested and can afford $10 for a class, then come and I will, teach some MeduNet for free. And there's plenty of MeduNet that I deal with on a very constant basis. People just have to look at the videos. So whoever wants to take it further, they are free to do so. But I've had plenty of videos in the past. But I don't think you will tell me that you can walk in a lawyer's office. Hey, arrêtez sottise, arrêtez sottise. Wait, hold on. Children love the attention. So when you do something, they want to show that. So are you telling me that you can walk in a lawyer's office and ask him for free legal advice? Is that what you're telling me? I'm just asking you. No, I don't care about the bar. Do you think you can walk into a garage and ask a mechanic to actually, look into something in your car that's wrong for free? You might ask for a quotation. You will have a look to know how much it would cost to fix something. That's when you want something done. You don't have any interest in the MeduNet? Like, do you even underestimate my intellect? You're trying to justify this endeavor. So there's something that I want to quote. Something that I want to quote. Oh, okay. I don't have it in writing, but there's some video. I will look for it. Might take me a minute. I will look for it. I'm looking for it right now, brothers and sisters. I found it. Seek and you shall find. I'm going to share the video. I've uploaded it on January 27 of last year. So that's just a year old. I'm quoting the book of Khalid, written by Malik Zulu Shabazz. And in that book, we hear about a speech that Farrakhan gave in 1998. I think it was at the university. Now, Satwa wrote, that can draw people in. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I mean, it's all good. I know what works. I know who registers. I know the people that register. And I know that a lot of people who've been following me for years will not necessarily register, and it's not for everybody. But I don't like the hypocrisy. You're not planning on learning the Meta Nature. Come on, man. So, Farrakhan was paid $10,000 for a speech. I've shared the link in the chat. It's a matter of consideration, And even when I used to say, well, people could support me with $1 a month. People are not even ready to do that. It's a matter of consideration. It is psychological. You have plenty of black people. They don't want to spend money on something that a black person does. If they have the choice, they will spend with somebody that is not black. It's psychological because in their mind sometimes people don't realize there's almost a inferiority complex. They feel like if a black person does something that it's not as good as if somebody else does it. And that's the way it is. Satwov is clever. He has changed the subject. Now, he wrote that he's looking at Sanhedrin, and it seems like the Hebrew Israelites are more popular these days than the NOI. The NOI is not what it used to be because they made an alliance with the Church of Scientology. Now, amongst the world of celebrities, the Scientology is well established, but amongst the masses, Scientology is not something that's popping. Yes, it's not recent. It's been years that it almost became a Hebrew Israelite channel. I never heard so many Hebrew Israelites in my life. To each his own. So, if we look over the years, what is the progress that's been made? I take great pride in the Meta Nature teaching and also all the other stuff that we went through about religion, about artifacts, about facts, about records. You notice, brothers and sisters, that for those who don't know, I actually issued a challenge. I think it was 2009, maybe 2008. I issued a challenge to black Christians, black Muslims, black Jews slash Hebrew Israelites. My challenge was simple: a record that mentions their patriarch during their lifetime. And you hear them kicking a good game. But have you ever seen them demonstrating, showing you, or referring to any artifact? I'm done with the Hebrew Israelites at 12. I'm really done with them, for real. Really done with them, If you have any questions about them, you feel free to go and ask them. You know what I'm saying? They have enough platforms now, so I lost my thought. Yes. Have you seen, brothers and sisters, any documentation, any records, any artifact that deals with those populations that they are talking about? Brothers and sisters, are you aware that Hebrew Israelites teach, some of them teach, that King James was black? I mean, I've said this before, but we always have new people coming in. And there's a Moorish guy, the same guy who said that he hates Africa. It's on tape. And this guy will go on whatever platform that was mentioned. He goes there easily. As a matter of fact, but I will leave with that and go to another example. So that same guy who said that he hates Africa, he came out publicly during a lecture and he talked about the Prince of Wales was black. Edward, the Black Prince or something like that is his nickname. The King of Wales was black. And everybody can look up Edward, the Prince of Wales, and you will see if he was black or not. I mean, it gets crazy. But there was another Hebrew Israelite who was talking with the child, and he said to the child that he would not feed him because the child was part African. One of his parents was African. And there was some backlash following that. The kid was like 10 years old or something, 10 or 12 years old. But he was underage, that's for sure. And that Hebrew Israelite that's well known told him that he would not feed him because there was some barbecue or something, or cookout coming up. And when that happened, whoever's running whatever platform said, well, you're my brother, but you will not be on my platform anymore. About 2 weeks later, he was on the platform. So people choose melting pots because there's all sorts of flavor. But when you have a direction, it's like you're having a meal, and for a certain meal you have ingredients. You don't need to put as many ingredients as you want. Satwa is asking, with black people in France, which of these movements are growing the most? What's growing the most is a bit like in America. People who claim to be conscious because they were into the Abrahamic belief systems and now they are no longer into it. And they refer to themselves as Kemites or Kemetic people. In France, they use the term Kemites. And it's like saying Kemetic, really. In French, it's like a bit different. So, but they could not read two glyphs. And they love, respect, and defend rapists and pedophiles publicly, openly. A bit like in America, like we see with Kwanzaa. Dale Jones, for those who know him, he stated publicly that the woman that Karenga tortured were raped. Now, some people feel like objects inserted inside the vagina is not rape. They might call it initiation. It also shows that the future generation will say, You guys were lame. Because another difference is that those things are documented. We have people talking about it. See, back then we didn't have the internet. So people had to rely on newspaper articles, testimonies, and trial transcripts. Now for Karenga, apparently the trial transcripts disappeared, but hey. See, if you get a group of brothers and sisters and you congratulate them, let's clap, yeah, we doing it, yes, we clap, clap. They love that. But if you make criticisms, they don't really like it. They will say that you are negative, you're not positive. So when someone tortures black woman, plagiarizes a Jewish holiday, as long as he's presenting it as some black stuff, we're supposed to defend him. You know the blackism? Oh, he's black, I'm black, he's my brother. Everybody black is my brother, even if they're raped. Even if they rape women, even if they rape children, that's the mentality. That's basically the conscious community, or Pan-Africans to be more specific. Pan-Africans, that's the way they get down. I have some Pan-Africans on tape, video, expressing their support for rapists. So the future generation will say those guys were lame. See, that's the trend now. That's what's acceptable now, or accepted now. It's not acceptable, but it's accepted. But later on, the future generation, you know. See, in France, there's not much popping, but plenty of these organizations that been saying the same things and not really improving, not having any standard, you know. And they present themselves as freedom fighters. And they would tell their children, you know, that they were warriors for the struggle, for the cause. But their children will eventually find out that they have defended rapists and pedophiles, and their children will not be satisfied about this. You see? The clip that I've played from Farrakhan explaining that we were disfigured and marked, we don't have much people criticizing it. Because it's like Farrakhan is some kind of black pope. So yeah, a lot of people feel like, you know, when a black person is articulate, then that's some points. And he can basically tell you that you are ugly, but he says it in an articulate manner, and that is to be accepted. Sometimes I wonder, all those people who defend whatever is said, why don't they join the organization if the organization is so good? Dr. Ben criticized Farrakhan for basically what we heard. Now let's hear it again, because sometimes you wonder, and I'm gonna ask, and I won't be surprised if you don't have anybody that says anything. You know, like, you know, there's that guy. I ain't gonna say his name, but that guy who used to talk about Egyptomaniacs. When I played the clips, he said I was wrong, but he was uncomfortable saying that it was wrong. But he knew he had to say it was wrong, because he was like banging on Kemetic people. But then you had something that's way worse than whatever the Kemetic people say. So he knew it wouldn't have been fair at all, and it would be extremely biased if he would have given it a pass. But now, brothers and sisters, for all you talk about the black cause, the movement, and so on, who talk about the knowledge, who talk about self-love, self-respect, black love, it's only 3 minutes. I want to have your input. What do you think about what we're going to hear? I will ask you right after. 3 minutes.
So Shabazz was not permitted to stay in that area, so he took his family into the jungle of East Asia, which we now call Africa, to make a people close to nature. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, this is the origin of kinky hair, because we didn't have kinky hair prior to that. The hair on our head was like the hair on our eyebrows. The hair on your eyebrows straight, the hair on your head is not the same as the hair on your eyebrow. But the hair of every other people is the same as their eyebrow. Your eyebrow straight, your hair something different. Wouldn't you like the hair on your head to be as straight as the hair on your eyebrow? That's why you're so busy frying it. That's why you're so busy pulling it. Because your nature tells you that the kink I mean, you know, with I'm black and I'm proud, we got to learn to be proud of kinks. Because most of your family of other black people on the earth, jet black. They didn't have no broad nose and thick lips and kinky hair. They were dark-skinned people, jet black. But they had straight hair, a thinner lip, a thinner nose. But we are marked as a different kind of black person. And we were rejected and despised, not only from the circle of the gods, but we were despised and rejected by all the other dark people of the earth. This is why today black people with kinky hair and broad nose and thick lips are rejected in every society. I want you to hear me well tonight.
Yes, sir.
Why are we rejected? Because the essence of beauty is in obedience and submission to God. And the essence of ugliness is when you rebel against God. And when you rebel against God, in your rebellion, you are marked with a certain mark of your rebellion, which is the disfigurement of your internal self, which manifests in the disfigurement of your external self. And this is why when you look at our people, wherever we are found on the earth, you find us either disfiguring ourselves physically because we are disfigured on the inside because of rebellion.
Go ahead.
So what do you think about what you just heard, brothers and sisters? I'm waiting. And while I'm waiting, I want the future generation to know that this is the kind of person that used to get $10,000 to speak for a speech at the university. And besides what you just heard, that we are marked and disfigured because we rebelled against God. Now we have Afimi Womanum, who wrote trash. And Sat 12 looks like it's some smileys. I don't know what it means. Now, Sat 12, first of all, what do you think about that speech from Farrakhan, that excerpt from his speech, which is in full context because many groupies say, oh, this was taken out of context. I'm curious, at 12. I'm waiting. And then I will address what you just wrote here. Now, Afimi Womanum. No. Afimi Wona Woon. Welcome. No, Satwa, I would like to know what you think about what he said. You wrote, I think he's just parroting Elijah Muhammad. EM stands for Elijah Muhammad, for those who don't know. What do you think? Do you okay, I don't want to put words in your mouth. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't want to give an input, you can tell me, Nobody's forcing you. You can say, I don't want to say anything. I don't want to give my input. You know. Because NOI members, they are known for pulling that trigger, killing women, shooting women in the head, killing babies, drowning babies, shooting children. So some people might feel like, if I say something that will appear like some criticism, my life might be in danger. I can understand. Okay, Sat 12 wrote is S, the S bomb. Now, Sat 12 wrote, I think the Falcon said Malcolm have also said in his book or a speech. Now, I'm not really sure if the sentence was well constructed, but we have some audio of Malcolm X stating that I think he said we didn't have kinky hair. But I've uploaded it so people can look at this excerpt. And that's when Malcolm was a member of the NOI. So he stated the NOI ideology or doctrine. Now, Malcolm was smarter. Malcolm was smarter, so he would not, tell the public about the teaching of the NOI that says that Africans are living a jungle life and that Africans are not civilized, So I will see if I can find a video of Malcolm. Yeah, I found it. I've uploaded it 2 years ago, you see. So, judging from the title, Malcolm also talks about, the jungle life. This is Elijah Muhammad's teaching, by the way, for those who don't know. And Afihi Womanum Wona, okay. I would say Afihimi, if you don't mind. Because I don't want to mess up your name every time I try to say it. So please don't take offense at that. And please don't take offense at my daughter singing in the background. Oh boy. Oh no, I was supposed to copy the title of the video. So I'll remove the video. Okay, there it is. Here's the title. So for those who would catch this video after the live stream, in the chat, it says Malcolm X, Shabazz Malediction, and Africa's Jungle Life. And boom, it is shared in the chat. Afihimi, in case you're not aware, if you or other people that might be interested, tomorrow at 11 p.m. EST, there will be the Medunacha class. That's the hieroglyphic. And this is a new time slot, so we're starting from scratch, from the beginning, from the start. So feel free to let anybody who might be interested that it's only $10 for at least an hour class, and it will probably go much longer than an hour. It's very affordable because other people charge $50 for one class. So people can use PayPal, which I prefer, or they can use Cash App, and they just need to email me, and the email address is there. It's best to copy and paste it. That is bossstylyx@msn.com. And we can learn that ancient sacred language of Kemet, rather than teaching that Africans are living a jungle life, or that we are marked and our phenotype is the essence of ugliness. So, Chapter 12 wrote, I think there's nothing wrong with people living in the jungle. I also think the first humans may have had hair resembling chimpanzees, but it is unknown. I don't know what you're trying to say there. I think Ivan van Sertima said that there's more jungles in Europe than in Africa. Just for the record. And for the record, nobody talked about people living in the jungle. It talks about living the jungle life. And many people are not familiar with the NOA teaching, but it also says in their supreme wisdom, in the lessons that they studied, that they learned by heart, that Africans are living a jungle life, that Africans are not civilized. He also says that the root of civilization is in the Arabian desert, and that the only holy place on the planet Earth is Mecca. You understand what I'm saying? He also says that the Bible is a poison book. That's for the Christians who would like to say that I'm intolerant. Anyone says that the Bible is a poison book, Elijah Muhammad said that the church is what they want to destroy. I'm just saying it for the record. Afimi wrote, all these humans are the short folks like the Hadza and San. They all have the same. They all have some of the kinkiest hair on the planet. Hold on, please. Chut. Viens. Chut. Lève ta main. Viens. Viens. Qu'est-ce qu'il y a, Miro? Viens. All right. Good thing I didn't say anything crazy because I forgot to mute the mic. Bear with me. All right. Let me go through the comments. And for those who would like to get on the panel, I've shared the invite link. I will share it again. It is pinned in the chat by. That's only for who are not anonymous. Tu fais quoi là?
On peut pas me voir?
Non,
Pourquoi?
parce que. Pousse-toi, chérie.
Chérie, laisse-moi me voir.
So I'm going to share the invite link. There it is. That's for those who are willing to show their face. If you don't want to show their face, keep it with the chat. Feel free to make your comments, ask your questions. We have Negus Nigist. Some people feel like, you know, the N word derives from Naga. You know, the Negus, sorry, the Negus, which is a title for an Ethiopian king back in the days. Afimi wrote that there's no indication that the first humans on the planet were straight-haired, and then we got kinky hair because of rejection by God or whatever. Indeed. You know, the funny thing, brothers and sisters, is that when we say we don't agree with those teachings that are offensive, really, if a white person would have said that, the conscious community would go crazy. And if a white Jew would have said that, you know, they are about Negroes. And some will say, well, you have hate towards the nation. But when so-called Kemetic people say some foolishness, I've addressed it in the past as well. When I saw some so-called Kemetic people defending rapists and pedophiles, I did not give them a pass. Hold on. So let's continue with the comments. Afimi wrote, even in Asia, the oldest humans have kinky hair. Now, Afimi wrote, that's some curse of Ham / Canaan crap. It is the equivalent of the curse of Ham. It's the black Muslims' equivalent to the curse of Ham. Their supreme wisdom, their teaching says that black people are mocked and disfigured because we rebelled against God. The essence of beauty is in obedience to God, and the essence of ugliness is in the disobedience or whatever. You can just go back and listen to that video excerpt. For the record, for those who would like to share that video excerpt, it is in the description of the video. Let me double check actually. But it should be. It was at one point. Over time, I changed the links in the description, but I will double check right now. Yes, that's the link that says Shabazz malediction. It's the 8th link number 8. That's how it starts. That's how it starts. And Sat 12 wrote, Ma'at forever. Don't get mad, but I think if you want to criticize the Supreme Wisdom, you should read the exact quote from it. Have I said anything that's inaccurate? You should not even go that route. Because I read more of Elijah's teaching than the average Nation of Islam member. Many times, I have quoted Elijah Muhammad, and the members of the NOI were not even aware of those teachings. Because when the PhD publicly challenged me to a debate, I prepared myself. I wasn't going to go and make a fool of myself, like the former pastor went to make a fool of himself and a fool of the Kemetic community. I ain't gonna say no name, but I was low. He was supposed to debate, and he came in and acted like he didn't have anything to say. This is documented, and he was paid $3,000 for that. So I don't really appreciate that statement. Viens. Amène ça. Amène. Donne-moi ça. So I don't really appreciate that statement because that's implying, basically, you're considering that I have not read any exact quotes. That's not good to do that, because if there's something that I have not quoted exactly, you should let me know. You should let it be known. I'm very familiar with the Nation of Islam's teaching, very familiar with them. So after the PhD challenged me to a debate, and I accepted, and we spoke about the debate on the phone and the time where it would happen, he backed down like a coward. So I prepared myself and I read extensively. And backing down is the best thing that the PhD could have done. His greatest mistake was to publicly challenge me to a debate. Because if we would have went for a debate, I would have, let's be diplomatic, I would have been way more prevalent than he has ever been in his life during a debate. It's not cocky confidence. Niggas is asking, are you Asiatic black man? I wouldn't think so, because many times Sat 12 was there while Asiatic black man was there. Whether he used the Asiatic black man 19 username, or whether he used the Asiatic lion username, or whether he used the Afro-Asiatic username. Our dear brother, who is no longer here, has 3 usernames. So I really doubt that Sat 12 is Asiatic black man 19. We have some new people in the place to be, so I'm letting them know that we have this Medu Nature class coming up, and here are the details. So if you want to sign up, you just need to send the $10. Okay, Sat 12. I've been doing this for a long time, and my patience is really running out. You again say, in my opinion, anytime you criticize what somebody says, it doesn't matter how much you have studied them, you should quote the exact words they said. What are you talking about? Is there something that did I misquote anybody? Now that video, that 3-minute video, is part of a lecture that is maybe 2 hours long. Are you going to be dumb like some Farrakhan bootlickers and consider that I should quote the whole 2-hour lecture? And they say, this is the part that I disagree with. You know what? you're gonna have to come with another username because I can't do this thing no more. People take your kindness for weakness. Now, brothers and sisters, you can go through the videos. I don't mind if people disagree with me, but I don't like what goes into the realm of lies, of deception. If I misquoted someone, let it be known. Let it be known. Demonstration beats conversation. So Satwa is on vacation. I've studied for a long time, a very long time. I could show you several books that I have. I have plenty of videos. If I misquoted somebody, let it be known. We're talking about, oh, you need to quote exactly. Come on now. Sounds more like you're defending it. You're defending those anti-black and anti-African teachings, but I will leave it there. Hey, what's up, Hailey? I think you've received my email. There was some miscommunication or misunderstanding. Whenever I say EST, that's Eastern Standard Time. That's New York time. So I think that's where the confusion was. But Brother Hailey, are you free for a class now? Because if you're free, we can do it now to make up for that misunderstanding we got in yesterday. Let me know, Brother Hailey. Now, Afimi, I have an article about the curse of Ham on my website. Actually, I will share it now. And this NOI members, they will mention the curse of Ham. Like, look what they're saying about us. But we can hear their teaching, their supreme wisdom. So, this article about the curse of Ham that appears on my website. Okay, well, Brother Hailey, since you can't do it, I know you just got home, so get yourself ready, and tell me when you are on the private chat. You can use the same link that I've sent to you yesterday. Okay. So that article on my website is quite detailed because it does not only quote the Bible, but it also quotes the Talmud. But some people are really slick with it. A lot of Christians have a lot of excuses. They will tell you, oh, it doesn't say black people. But in the Talmud, it talks about being black, about blackness. So here is the link. And by the way, anybody can go on my website. The address is there. And you can add /English if you want, or you can just click on English, which is on the navigation bar on the left corner of the website. And then you scroll to the bottom of the page and you will see Curse of Ham right at the bottom. You will also see NOI teaching. As a matter of fact, while we're at it, let's do this. So, while we're at it, take your time, Brother Hailey, and we're going to make this happen. And take advantage, brothers and sisters, because I will do the class with the brother. So when he's ready, I will do the class. But for those who want to take the class, we have Friday, tomorrow, 11 p.m. EST. So make sure you register. Okay. And there might be some other time slots available, but that's the one that's available for now. So while we're at it, let me share the screen. Now, as you can see, that's a Curse of Ham article. All right. So if you go to the bottom of the page, You have Nation of Islam teachings of Elijah Muhammad, Louis Farrakhan, and Far Muhammad. And here we have the 120, okay, or other known as there's different names, actual facts, student enrollment, lost found Muslim and English lessons. And that's where it says that Africans are living a jungle life and Africans are not civilized. Now, the integrative school psychologist is asking if I do have classes for youth. Well, my class is for anybody that can speak and understand. There's no age limit. When you say youth, I'm not sure if you mean teenagers or people who are infants. Now, I wouldn't do a virtual class for a school. That would be too complicated. There's at least 20 pupils or children in a classroom, so 20 adults, that would be different. But anyway, back to the NOI teaching, because apparently I'm not exactly quoting. Some people have to tell me what exactly quoting means. So you have the Theology of Time, page 92. And Elijah Muhammad said, "You will never be able to convert me. No, because you should first do like the preacher in the jungle of Africa and Australia and other far-off Pacific islands. Preach to the savage to hide his nakedness. This is the first preaching we give to a savage, to cover your nakedness." He also said, in the same book, it's in the same page, and I believe this is a speech, so you can hear the audio. The speech is available online. I've seen it before. We don't consider Africa's people of the jungles anything for us to follow or be taught by. If you're not civilized, you can't lead a civilized person. Now, in the same book, The Theology of Time, page 92 to 93, if you tell me to go to Africa, I will go there, but don't tell me to go there to be civilized. I'm already civilized, and I'm ready to civilize Africa. Now, here you have the different quotes. And by the way, those were videos back then. But guess what? The Asiatic black men do. Guess what the Asiatic black men do? They flag. So now it's in written form. So, according to the NY teaching, Adam was the father of sin. Jesus Christ's birth is the result of adultery. Now, here it is. The book is called Our Savior Has Arrived, page 157 to 158. And it says, "But Jesus was not born in December. God, in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praises are due forever, has taught me that his birthday took place between the first and the second weeks of September, and that no one knows exactly what day he was born, for it was a secret between Joseph and Mary to save them both from being murdered by getting the baby out of wedlock. The real truth that the Christians hate to confess is that Joseph had gotten the child, Jesus, by Mary while he was married to another woman, and that at the time had 6 children by the first marriage. So Master Fard Muhammad, God in person, taught me." This is Elijah Muhammad. This is the founder / leader of the Nation of Islam. This is Farrakhan's leader. And earlier we've heard somebody implying that I'm not quoting exactly. And I could have quoted directly the red part. I could have done that. But you see, I took the time to go all the way and have almost a paragraph to get to that part. You understand? Sometimes it's very funny and ironic, the accusation or the things that people will imply. Now here we have Africa was called jungle. And this book, many people will not know about that book. This is taken from Elijah Muhammad's speech. Now it says the continent of Africa at that time was called the jungles of East Asia. You've heard Farrakhan earlier say that it was called the jungles of East Asia. Where do you think he got that from? Okay. Now, when I say Africans are living a jungle life, it doesn't come from me. That's an NOI teaching. And it's come from what some people call the 114, which is otherwise known as the Lost Found Muslim lesson number 1. So the 5%ers have the same lessons. You just have a few words that are different. So when the 5%ers talk about knowledge of self, the 5%ers in their lessons, it says that Africans are living a jungle life. You know, because sometimes they like to say, well, we're not really like the NOI. We don't really have the same lessons. You know what I'm saying? So this is what the Supreme Wisdom say. The teaching of the Nation of Islam and the Nation of Gods and Earth, otherwise known as the 5%ers. Now you have question number 6. Why does the devil call our people Africans? And the answer is to make our people of North America believe that the people on that continent are the only people they have and are all savage. He brought a trading post in the jungle of that continent. The original people live on this continent, and they are the ones who strayed away from civilization and are living a jungle life, are living a jungle life, not were living a jungle life, not used to live a jungle life, but he says are living a jungle life. The original people call this continent Asia, but the devils call it Africa to try to divide them. He wants us to think that we are all different. And in the book called The Fall of America, page 150, Elijah Muhammad said, for nearly 40 years, I have been preaching to the black man in America that we should accept our own. And instead of the black man going to the decent side of his own, he goes back seeking traditional Africa and the way they did in the jungle life and the way you see in some uncivilized parts of Africa today. They are not using barbers, tools, shears, or razors to keep themselves looking dignified as a civilized people should look. The black man in America accepts the jungle life, thinking that they will get the love of black Africa. The dignified people of Africa are either Muslim or educated Christians. Did you know about this, brothers and sisters? Did you know about these, brothers and sisters? That the Nation of Islam and that's $10,000 for a speech at the university in 1990, what was it, 1998? I wonder what the fee is now, you know, the inflation. Did you know the Nation of Islam, or more specifically their founder, their leader, thought that the dignified people of Africa are either Muslim or educated Christians? Are you surprised then when you see their PhD, Dr. Wesley Muhammad, that said what you will hear in a few seconds? Listen up.
The railway never being built. Road came in garbage. If you want to get off sensitive
Come on, go ahead.
about blacks conquering blacks, throw Maya in the trash can, throw Alvin Rock, the slave making God away.
You've heard it. They will try to say that it's taken out of context as well. You know. So it's no surprise if he says that, because the Nation of Islam teaches that the dignified people of Africa are either Muslim or educated Christians. So if you are not Muslim or Christian, you are not dignified if you are an African. Right? Now listen up. In that same book, same page, after that quote, the dignified people of Africa are either Muslim or educated Christians, Elijah Muhammad said, shh, hey. He said, but Africa today does not want Christianity. Do not think that you will get a home in Africa after this war if you are Christian. To get a home in Africa after the war, you will have to be Muslim. Oh, there we go. Now you can read it from yourself. You can read it for yourself. Okay? The Fall of America, page 150, that was. Now, what is the best part of the planet Earth? Right? Now, you have this whole quote from the Lost from Muslim lesson number 1, also known as the 114. And you have the question and the answer, but I will go directly here. It says, the best part of... Now, I'll read from here. And knowing that the devil was wicked and there would not be any peace among them, he put him out in the worst part of the earth and kept the best part preserved for himself ever since he made it. The best part is in Arabia at the holy city, Mecca. Now the question was, why isn't the devil settled on the best part of the planet Earth? So, did you know that the NY is teaching that the best part of the planet Earth is Mecca? Now here says that back to Africa is not necessary. Here's the quotes for the Bible book. Actually, let me make it larger, but you have the link so you can go through all of this. All the different quotes, you know. Elijah Muhammad even thought that the Bible and the Quran will be replaced by a new book. You have all the different quotes. You see all these quotes there? I went through those literature, you know, and the emphasis in red as well. Emphasis by myself. Because some people might be slick enough and say, oh, he did not put any emphasis in red. You are a deceiver and a liar. Anyway. Now here is a quote from Elijah Muhammad in the book called The History of Jesus' Birth, Death, and What It Means, page 14. Joseph rented one of those fast camels. He put Mary and her baby on it and said to the camel, take this woman to Cairo, Egypt. Hurry, hurry. The camel went directly to Cairo with Mary and her child Jesus. Is that backed up by any attestation historically? Sounds like fairy tales to me. Now, Christianity is a dirty religion. That's their teaching. Even says that Christianity is a religion of Satan. It's their teaching. The Theology of Time, page 211. I cannot give you reverence, too much sympathy, because the church is what we want to destroy. And the irony is that Farrakhan has very regularly made speeches at churches. I wonder if he got paid, because at university, he used to get paid. I don't think you see church members making speeches in the NOI's offices or buildings. But that's another thing, you know. They will go on your platform, but they will not invite you on their platform. But some people are, you know, I could use some words, but, I'm going to remain diplomatic. Now, here you have Elijah Muhammad on the book called The Black Stone that says that the Holy Quran has passed through nearly 14 centuries without alteration of any of the original texts from it. But in the book called The True History of Mustafa Muhammad, Elijah Muhammad said that all the present scriptures, even the Holy Quran, have been touched by the hands of the enemies of the truth. So this is a clear contradiction, and it's not the only one. Okay, now this is Elijah Muhammad's Endless 1914. That was a time up for the enemy, which was in 1914. And he even said he died in 1975, so you can make the calculation. Because at the time where I wrote this article, but never mind the time where I wrote the article. Elijah Muhammad died in 1975. Assuming that he said that on his last day on earth, you add 10 years, you get 1985. And he said that the final erasing of the race the Caucasian race that is, from the earth must take place now within the next 10 years. So we are way past 1985. I don't see any comments anymore now. I wonder why. In the theology of time, Elijah Muhammad said, we love African people like we love you in a way, not quite as much. Here is Elijah Muhammad when he wrote, and he said, it's on tape, he said, once I was a Mason too. Until I became a Muslim, I was a Mason. So I wonder if somebody will say, oh, it's too late. He already said that he was a Mason. No matter what, but it's okay. I'm gonna trip on that. Now, so many people might not know, but Elijah Muhammad was hearing voices. In the book called The Science of Time, Elijah Muhammad said, God have said to me that the time has long past due. Can you hear me loud and clear, brothers and sisters? I don't want to be talking in vain. Bear with me. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Good. All right. So Elijah Muhammad, in the book The Science of Time, God have said to me that the time has long past due for the execution of the wicked enemies who have misled the whole world of black man, except about 10% of them. So he taught me night and day in person for 3 whole long years and about 4 or 5 months. He still guides me. He still speaks to me whenever he pleases, right directly. The voice comes to my ears from his mouth. Like, there might be a typo, but it says, like, listen to a word from you. Maybe there's an I missing. Like, I listen to a word from you. Whenever he pleases. Okay? Now, Elijah Muhammad said that he was hearing voices, but he also says that he was speaking to God ever since he was born. Now, this is from the book called 100 Answers to the Most Uncommon 100. Hey, Meroud, c'est pas la tête ou quoi là? I'm sorry about this. So, the book is called 100 Answers to the Most Uncommon 100 Questions. I think this was an interview he did with a newspaper. Now, to the question, I would like to ask a religious question. Do you have visions? And Elijah Muhammad replied, I do not say really have visions, but I do have voices at times. And when he was asked, are you talking about Mr. Fard? And that's Fard Muhammad, of course. Elijah Muhammad replied, it was him that I have learned all that I am now teaching. I do not know anything of myself. It is what he has given me. Question, is it his voice that you hear in visions now? Elijah Muhammad replied, it is the same voice in the past and at present. Okay? So that's a good summary here, That's a good summary. And besides, for whatever reason, there's no more comments, there's no more participation. So I don't know how people feel about that. But it's on them. Now, Hailey, are you ready for the class now? If you have any comments or questions, because I'm going to have the class with our brother Hailey, who is all the way in Bermuda. For those who just arrived, there's a group class, hieroglyphic or Medu Nature class, tomorrow at 11 p.m. EST. You can sign up. It's only $10 for a class. Arrête, tu fais trop de bruit là. If you have any questions or comments, then feel free, because, like I said, I will do the class with our brother Haile whenever he's ready. Brothers and sisters, it's not a peep show. You can do some participation in the chat. Now, you can hit that, like, okay, Haile is ready, but I don't see you, do I? I don't see you. I'm there already, so, as long as you get there, then it's on. Well, it's okay. Since you're not participating anyway, I was going to wait for the brother to be there, but I will hit you with the outro. Stay safe, stay healthy, and if I'm allowed to by the nature, I will definitely holler back at you, Hotep. Now, for the record, for those who don't know, I'm giving Medu Nature classes. And here, that's the flyer. Okay? So, those who are interested, feel free to holler at me. If you're not interested, it's cool. But I recommend that everybody who has not yet seen the video, Kemet and Ma'at, Before Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, then watch it. It has about 300,000 views and really deserves to have a lot more.
I just want to let everyone know who's listening in now and who's going to listen to this stream in the future. I just had my first Meta Nature class by Brother Shaka today, and I've had other Meta Nature lessons by other teachers, and I can tell you right now, the brother is the best in the game. He is that was one of the best classes I've ever had, ever. So if you're interested in learning the Meta Nature, if you're interested in getting the basics of it, Brother Shaka is an awesome teacher. Get with him, and it's extremely affordable. This brother is giving us his time and his skills, and he's basically giving it away. I mean, I just consider it a donation. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody is interested in learning the Meta Nature, get with this brother right here. He's an awesome, awesome, awesome teacher. And I'll end with that.
Hotep Senu, Hena Senut. This is Julie, also known as Servant of Yah, and I'm currently taking the Medu Neture classes with Brother Shaka, and it has been an amazing experience. Only 2 lessons so far, and I feel like I've been taking the classes for months, just with the how in depth he goes into the vocabulary words, the construction of the language, the grammar. It's been immeasurable, the experience. And one thing that comes across, hands down, is his extreme passion for teaching this to anyone who is willing to learn and has an interest in learning. So I highly suggest, if you are interested, even a minimal interest, that you subscribe to the classes with Brother Shaka. It's such a nominal amount for how much you get. I know, like, our last class was over 2.5 hours. It felt like 2 minutes, but because that's how involved you are in what he's teaching and how he teaches and how compassionate he is about what he teaches. Also with sharing materials free of charge, no question, no doubt. It's just what he does. He doesn't have to, but he does. And so I just wanted to give a short testimonial about the class and the effectiveness of the class. And all of that is attested to how studied Brother Shaka is. So I highly recommend anyone with a minimal interest that you do sign up for the Medu Neture class. Hotep.
Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, which is Ma'at Forever. Don't forget to watch the video entitled Kemet and Ma'at. Don't forget to share Kemet and Ma'at on my channel.
on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or other social media that you use. Email, text messages, you name it. Those who wish to donate can do so on paypal.me/maatforever.